In this video, I'm going to share my simple trading plan, including my full analysis on gold this week. I'm going to talk about my entries, my profit targets, no matter if the market goes up or down. So make sure you watch until the end because this is going to be something that really helps you with your trading. I'm Lakeisha. Let's hop into gold. Okay, so when it comes to gold this past week, there were a lot of crazy moves. I only took one trade on gold this week, and it was right here. It did not work out. As you can see, it was a test trade. I only lost like $15, so not crying about that at all. So let's go ahead and go to the weekly time frame as usual. Let's get rid of all of these drawings on our chart, and I do have some alerts. I'm going to keep those, but basically let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger just because it's a little difficult to see. Okay, cool. So now that we're on the weekly chart, we can see very clearly that this week closed with a weak bearish candle. And the fact that it's a weak bearish candle tells me that there's a possibility that price may continue to go lower next week. However, we don't know, but I love the weekly time frame for that reason because it gives me a sense of the direction of the trend possibly for the next week. So the first thing I want to mark off right here is I want to mark off this resistance level right here at 30, or actually not 30, 24.46 roughly, mainly because this was a really nice kind of like resistance level, even though we do have wicks up here. Actually, let's go ahead and mark off the area where the wick made the highest point, and that's going to be 24, roughly 83 area. I like to mark that off because as we go down to lower time frames, we're going to see actual candles that form there, and it's not just going to be a wick. So let me go ahead and clone this again, and then I'm going to put it right here around 23.86 roughly because this is a support right here, and then I'm going to mark off another support right here at 23.18, and I don't know if price will get here next week, but we're just going to go ahead and mark off this area right here at 22.87, mainly because price could do anything it wants. So now that we got the weekly, let's go ahead and go to the daily time frame. Let's reset our view just so that way it's easier for all of us to see. So let me do this. Okay, great. Okay, so if we're looking at this on the daily time frame, we can see these levels, or this level up here looks fine. What I want to do is I want to make an adjustment to this level. I actually want to bring it up right here to about 24.50, which is a nice psychological level. And I want to mark this up here because this is a resistance, and then we also have a couple of wicks that pierce through this area. And it's just a really good level to mark off, mainly because of the resistance. And then this level right here, I want to actually bring it down a little bit because we have a nice support here. We also have some rejections. So this is at 23.80. And then I do see a level right here that has formed. So I'm actually just going to clone this level and then draw another level. So okay, I'm trying to see if I want to put it at the body or at the wick. I'm just trying to see what looks good to me. Like for right now, we're just going to put this at the body right here, mainly because we also had this wick that tapped into it perfectly and then rejected. So that looks good. There is some stuff going on right here. Probably not going to mark that off until lower time frames. Let's go to H4. All right, cool. And then I'm going to make this a little bit bigger just because it is a little difficult to see. Okay, now that we're on H4 time frame, we can see that this is a nice resistance. On the weekly time frame, I marked it off because it was just a wick. Now we got actual candles. Now we can see that a really nice resistance formed there. So that is looking good. Right here, it looks a little interesting, mainly because we have some consolidation within this area. It broke up and then it came down. And then we had this really big rejection. So let me look left. There's not much information to the left here for me at this point. So what I want to do is I actually want to drag this down to for our 24.42 roughly because of this resistance area. I may make an adjustment on a different time frame, but for right now, this is the most recent resistance level that I want to focus on. And then I also see another resistance, or actually a couple resistance levels in here, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. I just want to take note of what's happening with the rest of my chart. Okay, actually, okay, this level looks good to me. This looks fine for right now. I may make some adjustments later. So far, this is looking good. Let me go over here. So we do have a little bit of overhang right here. And actually, I kind of want to keep it just because of this wick right here. Actually, move it over. This wick right here. Let me see how it looks if I move this level. Oops, not the alert. I want to move the box. There we go. So if I move this down, okay, I like this a lot better. So this is why you have to play with these levels. Let me get rid of some of these. Okay, you have to play with these levels. So I did like this wick right here that formed and then rejected this level, but I also like this support and then also this rejection. And then if I look left, I have a lot more confirmation for this level. So I have all of these rejections right here. So it's pretty much a no-brainer for me to put this right here around 23.55. Cool. So this is looking good. This is looking good. This is looking good. I may want to mark this off, but I don't think I need to just because price is nowhere near here, but this looks good for right now. So let me go ahead and go all the way up. All right, so let's go. Actually, let me save my work so I don't lose anything. And then let's go to H2. So looking at this level right here, I do see some rejections. I do see a nice rejection level here. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we talk about our game plan for the week. So right now, this is looking actually quite perfect. And I'm just scrolling just to see if these levels are looking good. I would imagine that they are, but we still need to make sure. Okay, cool. This is all looking good. Everything is looking lined up. I mean, this line, you can extend it if you want. I'm just choosing not to. Okay, good. All right, so let's go to H1, and then I'm going to reset my view. And okay, so this is kind of what I was talking about a second ago. So basically I see a resistance level right here at 24.50, roughly 50 is 52. So I do want to mark off this level right here, mainly because we do have a nice resistance here, and then we had this rejection, price broke, and it continued to go down from this level. So this is a pretty significant fall from this area. So I want to mark that off. And this, we could mark this off, but I kind of don't want to at this point. In here, there is a lot of different things that we can look at. So before we get into that, let me make sure that all my levels down here are looking good before we talk about our game plan. Okay, oh, that's perfect. I'm glad I moved that there. All right, scoot. Okay, yeah, that is looking really good. This is a really nice level. This is also a really nice level. I like that. Okay, this, for the most part, is looking really, really good. All right, cool. So there's some things in here that I definitely want to talk about. So before we get into that, if you haven't downloaded the 54 easy tips to eliminate fear and take profitable day trades, you're missing out because so many people have had really great things to talk about this particular PDF. I have, at this point, a couple hundred people who've downloaded it. I've received emails and messages. I can't fit all of them here on the screen, but this is a download that you definitely don't want to miss. It's completely free for now, so go ahead and download it. So let's go ahead and get into our game plan. I do see a couple of things that I do want to mark off before we talk about what my trading plan is for the week. So one of the key things here is right here, we see a rejection or resistance level. We see a resistance level here. Then if we look here, we see a support, and we see a bunch of rejections here. So this is actually a level that I want to mark off. I'm not quite sure where the line will be placed, but I do want to mark this off. So let me just move this a little bit. Okay, I'm liking this level right here. So I want to move this level to around 24.16, mainly because we have a nice support here, price bounced up. We have a nice resistance here and here, price went down. And then if we look to the left, we do see some really big rejections right here where price bounced up. Eventually it came down, but we see rejection, rejection, break, resistance, resistance. So this is going to be the level that I want to mark off on the H1 time frame. So now that we have price kind of in this zone, I don't really want to do anything in here unless price breaks really major levels. So to start, I really don't want to sell anything until we're right below this level of 24.15. So let's go ahead and see how many pips this is going to be. Wow, this is a really, really big move. So this is about 350 pips. This is a really big range. Price could break through it really easily if there's a lot of volume and things going on inside the market. But just in case, let's go ahead and mark off some levels that we want to use as take profit levels. So the first level that I see is right here at roughly 2,400 flat, mainly because we have this resistance level right here, and then we do have a nice rejection here, and then price continued to move up from there. And if we were to measure this zone, this is still 120 pips, so that's pretty cool. And our overall target is obviously way down here. So that would kind of be TP1 for me. You could even make it right here at 2407, but I really like this level right here. And then another take profit level for me would be right here. You can see all of these wicks in here, and I would be targeting that. Let's see about how many pips that is. So if we go from this level to this level, that's still 100 pips. Really 111 or 12 pips, still a really nice move, so that looks good to me. And then that's pretty much it inside of here. Price could bounce off of this level and continue up, mainly because if we look at price action in the past, we can see that there is a bounce there. We can also see that there was a bounce here, and then we could also see that there was a bounce here, and then there was also a bounce here. So looking at all of this past price action, this lets me know that there is a possibility that price could bounce up from this level in the future. So actually, I'm going to adjust this. I'm going to make my alert right there because I do want to know when that happens. So, you know, price could, like I said, sell, but then it could also, once it gets down here, it could bounce off of this level and come back up. So that could be, that's another trading idea that I have for this particular market. While it's pretty much in this zone, let's see how big the zone is. Oh, this is 250 pips. This is a really big zone. So we can probably find even more zones within here to trade for sure. So one thing that I'm seeing is this level right here. We have a resistance here. We have really nice support through here. I think this was the area I was trying to trade if you scroll back to the beginning of this video, but it just did not work out for me. I got wicked out by 2 pips and then I just didn't try again. So, and then as you saw before, it just continued to go down and continued to just be really erratic in the movement, and it was just untradeable for me. But looking at this now that the market is closed and coming up with a game plan for next week, I kind of like this level of 24.26 to trade. This is not a major level to me. This is more of a major level, these yellow boxes to me. So this could be a tradable range. Let's see what is going on right here. Okay, so that's 150 pips. So that's a really nice range. And you could trade that. The fact that all of this is pretty much a break, a retest, and continue up, but it wasn't super clean, not at all. But basically, you can look at this and be like, okay, I can take some trades within here, but since there's so much chaos in terms of candles being bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish, bearish, going back and forth, I'm not really interested in trading this zone at all, to be honest. So as far as like me and the way that I trade, so one thing I am looking at, I know I have this level up here. Let me see what happens if I move this right here. Okay, I'm actually liking this a lot better. So I took this major level, and let me scoot over to the left before okay, that's looking good. We have a rejection zone, we have a support zone. This kind of goes in and out, reject, reject. Okay, I actually like this. So I actually moved this level down a little bit. I moved it down to about 24.35, mainly because of the way that price formed at the close of this week. We got this rejection here, our resistance here. We also have a resistance here. We have a resistance here. We kind of have a support here. We do have rejections here. So I like the way that looks. Let me see. No, I'm gonna keep it like that. So, and a cleaner area for me to trade would be not really in this zone, like I said before, but more so right here. And the reason why I want to trade this area right here is because look at all these bearish candles right here. So price kind of does its thing, and then when it comes back to this kind of zone, usually there's going to be a lot of buying. So a lot of selling right here, and then I'm looking for a lot of buying right here. So I would want to actually take it from 24.35 all the way up to 24.50. That's going to be a really nice range. So that actually looks a lot cleaner. Instead of trying to, let me remove that. Instead of trying to trade this where you have all of this noise basically in the candles. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at for my game plan for this upcoming week. And of course, if price goes up here, then I want to take it from about here to right here where we got all of these rejections right here. And this is at 24.73. So I wouldn't even try to go to the all-time high area. I would just try to go to right there. So this is looking clean. This is looking clean. This is all like buys for me above here. So I'm liking this a lot more. And then, of course, on the downside, if we continue to go down, this will be my next level. But I'm really not focused on that right now just because I don't know if it's likely that price would go down here. Of course, it could do whatever. But this is my game plan for this upcoming week, and I'll see you next time.